Assalamu alaikum, dear students. So, our today's lesson is about discursive writing. Now, how many of you know what is discursive writing? Okay, if you know, that is wonderful. If you do not, no problem. Now, a discursive text presents and discusses issues and opinions. The purpose is to present all sides of an argument. And there is when discursive becomes different from argumentative. Okay, because in an argumentative writing, the student has to take one stance. Whatever the statement is given, either you speak in favor of that topic or you go against the statement. Whatsoever, you stick to one stance from the beginning till the end. But in a discursive essay, you explore an issue or an idea, you approach a topic from different angles and explore in such a way that balances personal observations with different perspectives. Okay? So, what are our objectives for today's lesson? Well, of course, to brainstorm ideas and organize them into a cohesive discussion. That is very important, that your paragraphs seem well organized, well connected, right? Okay, so what should be your methodology to attempt a discursive piece of writing? I would suggest that when you generate an idea, please substantiate it with an example or with some piece of information. Because if you just only say a statement without actually justifying it or exemplifying it, it really doesn't impress the checker. Okay? Right. So, what is our topic for today? And it is when things go wrong, should others put their lives at risk in a rescue attempt? I repeat, when things go wrong, should others put their lives at risk in a rescue attempt? Now, of course, this is a hypothetical situation which, of course, needs brainstorming of certain ideas. So, the first one is, I feel, training. Now, a trained individual, somebody who is trained for some sort of emergency situation, yes, can, rather should, risk their life because they have the ability to cope. Somebody who is not trained, I believe, may not be of any use to the ones who are already in a problematic situation. It's no use endangering your own life when you are not really trained for any emergency situation. So, training of some sort, I think, is important before you actually take a risk. But then comes the natural instinct. Now, this is quite natural. Being a human, to see somebody in trouble, there are a lot of chances that you are naturally inclined to help out. For example, let me give you a situation. Now, if there's a teacher in a room and god forbid there is an unlikely situation, the teacher himself or herself being endangered, however, it is quite natural that he or she will stand in front of her students or his students, right? So that is the natural instinct. Then of course, yes, this kind of situation will be test of our character, courage and strength. Yes, you can elaborate on this point, right? Then comes guilt. Now let's say in a situation where you realize that later on you could have helped but you could not, maybe out of fear. Maybe later on an individual is filled with guilt, and with guilt comes insomnia, numbness, depression. You can talk about that. um, I don't know, I'm just reminded of the very tragic motorway incident which happened a few months back. And I remember there was this gentleman, we all heard in the news later on, that he passed by in his car and he actually saw those men and the lady, but he did not have the courage to scare them away, to even horn them. Though he later on admitted that he saw what was going on, but he just didn't have the guts. So the point is, he is not answerable, that comes a moral obligation maybe, but then again you need to have guts, you need to have strength of character and courage, of course, to deal with this kind of situation. Now, there is a difference in saying and doing. The notion of risking one's own life may sound heroic or noble, but then how many people would actually do it? It's a tough decision to contemplate. Yes, please. So, to conclude the topic, it's not necessarily to evaluate right or wrong, selfishness or selflessness, but to provoke critical thinking and share your feelings. Thank you so much. And I would urge you that if you have any ideas regarding this topic or any information or any example, please feel free to post in the comments. I am repeating the topic for you so that, like I always say, please write on it. Only listening is not sufficient. So the topic was, when things go wrong, should others put their lives at risk in a rescue attempt? That's all. Khudafiz.